Welcome back children. Today class 9 maths, the chapter name is quadrilateral, 8th chapter. So quadrilaterals is our chapter, 8th chapter. And now what is mean by quadrilateral? You know very well, quadrilateral. Lateral means sides. So quad refers, that means the four side. So quadrilateral, that means a four sided figure, a simple closed curve or simple closed figure with four sides, four angles and four vertices. So this is called a quadrilateral. Okay. For example, if you take, this is P, Q, R, S. You see, these are the four angles. Okay. Four sides means PQ, QR, RS, PS. So these are the four sides, and four angles means angle P, angle Q, angle R and angle S. And vertices means this point. So the vertices means nothing but the corner. So four corners, that means four vertices. In singular you say vertex. Vertex. P is a vertex. If you say in plural, vertices. So P, Q, R and S are the vertices. So like that we can define quadrilateral. A quadrilateral is a simple closed figure with four sides, four angles and four vertices. And types of quadrilateral. So types means you have learned in 8th standard itself. The chapter is understanding quadrilaterals. Okay. There you have read what is a quadrilateral and also the types and the properties of every quadrilateral. So now we see the type of parallelogram, rectangle, square, rhombus, trapezium, kite. So these are the types of quadrilateral. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to trapezium is a normal, but kite means a special type of quadrilateral. And now you see here the diagram. So this is A, B, C, D is also a four side figure, four angles and four vertices. So you can say it is also a quadrilateral, but what is the difference of that and this? This is called concave quadrilateral. Concave. Okay. Concave. Because you know in 8th standard itself what is convex and concave quadrilateral. You have learned it, but even though you see these are the types of quadrilateral. So concave means, you see this diagonally if you draw means one diagonal you can draw like this, A and C you can connect. Okay. But here you see it comes, if you join B and D, it comes exterior of the figure. So if it happens, then this is the concave quadrilateral. Whereas in the normal quadrilateral, you see if you join the opposite that means non-vertices, non-adjacent vertices. If you join two non-adjacent vertices, you can get a diagonal. So here P and R are opposite or non-adjacent vertices. Q and S are also two non-adjacent vertices or opposite vertices, like that you can say. If you join, you get a diagonal. But here you see, compare these two diagrams. Here the two diagonals are interior of the figure, but here one diagonal only inside the quadrilateral, whereas another diagonal is outside the quadrilateral. So such figures are called, such quadrilaterals are called concave quadrilaterals. So these are the types. You know about the parallelogram. So all are four side figure, all are quadrilateral generally. So what is parallelogram? You see. So parallelogram means, so this is the parallelogram. Okay. So here you see a four side figure and four angles. These are the two diagonals. And you should know about the properties of each quadrilateral. So parallelogram means, you know, opposite sides are equal and parallel. So, first parallel, opposite sides. So, this top and bottom side parallel and equal, and this are the two left and right are opposite sides which are equal and parallel. So, this is called parallelogram, a quadrilateral in which opposite sides are parallel and equal, then it is called a parallelogram. Clear? And next, coming to rectangle. You know, in rectangle opposite sides are equal and parallel also, it is also a parallelogram. Clear? But here the angles are equal, all angles are equal, and you know each angle is 90 degree, and the diagonals also equal in length, whereas in parallelogram the diagonals are not equal because it is nothing but tilted rectangle. You know, it is tilted like this, see here. So, this is called parallelogram. Here diagonals are not equal in length, and angles, what about angles? If you say the property of a quadrilateral means, that means about sides, about angles, about vertices, about diagonals. Clear? Sides, angles and diagonals. So, this gives the property of any quadrilateral. So, here diagonals means they are not equal in length. Okay. What about angles means? Angles, opposite angles are equal in length. Here, equal measure, equal in measure. The opposite angles are equal in measure, where in parallelogram. And next, coming to the square, all sides equal, diagonals also equal in length, angles, each angle is 90 degree. So, this is called square. So, just I am telling about the properties of a quadrilateral means, you know that about sides, angles and diagonals. Clear? So, this you have to be very clear, then only we can move to the theorems, proofs and also the exercise problems. Okay. And now coming to the next one, rhombus. Okay. So, what is rhombus means? It is also parallelogram whose sides are equal in measure. Okay. All sides equal in measure. In a parallelogram, if all sides are equal, then it is a rhombus. Clear? So, square also all sides equal and rhombus also all sides equal. Then what is the difference? The diagonals, if you come to the diagonals and angles, you can find a difference. Clear? In square, each angle is 90 degree, but here not like that. But the opposite angles equal, and in rhombus the diagonals are not equal. Okay. And both in square and rhombus, is it? In both square and rhombus, the diagonals bisect at right angle. That means they are perpendicular. Diagonals are perpendicular to each other and also bisect each other. Whereas in parallelogram and rectangle, the diagonals bisect. Okay, not perpendicular, just they bisect each other. Here they bisect and also perpendicular. So, see, in simple we can say, in short we can say, the diagonals of both square and rhombus bisect at right angle. So, like that we can say. So, these are the properties already you have read in 8th standard in the chapter understanding quadrilaterals. You can see there, and you take that all the properties one by one by writing the name of the quadrilateral. First, for example, you write parallelogram, and then you write about sides and then angles and then diagonals, like that you can write, okay, one by one all this. And coming to the next one, that is trapezium. You see, trapezium. So, trapezium is a quadrilateral where a pair of opposite sides, that is one pair, a pair means one pair. You see, the top and bottom of this trapezium, this top and bottom. So, these two are parallel, but these two, the left and right, are non-parallel sides. Is it clear? If a pair of opposite sides is parallel in a quadrilateral, then it is called a trapezium. So, that you know already, but just I am explaining you. for your reference. Clear? And then if the non-parallel sides are equal in length, then we can say, we can call it as isosceles trapezium. Is it clear? And now coming to kite. You see, kite. So kite is a special type of quadrilateral. You see, here we cannot say the opposite sides and all. Okay. Here these two are adjacent sides. Like you can say here the top adjacent sides, and these two are the bottom adjacent sides. Clear? These two equal and these two equal. So like that the kite have the property, the sides are adjacent sides only equal. And angles means these two angles, these two, this angle and this angle will be equal, but these two are not equal. So only we are calling that a special type of quadrilateral. And about diagonals means one is a long diagonal, another one is a short diagonal. Is it clear? But the diagonals are perpendicular to each other. It's clear? And also one more thing, the short diagonal is bisected by the long diagonal. Okay, this is the short one and this is the long diagonal. So this short diagonal is bisected by the long diagonal. So one is bisected by the other. So like that we can take, and they are perpendicular. So such a special type. So we are call it the special type of quadrilateral. This is called kite. Clear? So these are the types of quadrilaterals, and what we have learned in the 8th standard. But now we will move with having the knowledge of all these. Now we are going to prove the theorems. Okay, the properties only, but we are going to prove it. So that's we are calling it the theorem. One by one it is given in the book. Okay, let us see that. So now coming to the next topic, that's angle sum property of a quadrilateral. So angle sum means sum of all the angles. So how many angles here? You know, 4 angles. If you add all the 4 angles, what is the total measure? Okay. So angle A, angle B, angle C, angle D are the 4 angles, and just to prove it, to find the angle sum of quadrilateral, just I am drawing a diagonal. Okay. AC, just I am joining it to get a diagonal. And angle A is divided into 2 angle, that is angle 2, angle 3. I am naming just by number. Okay, angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, angle 4, angle 5, angle 6. Okay, so this angle A is splitted into 2, that is 2 and 3, and angle C is splitted into 2 angles, that is angle 4 and angle 5. And now let us prove that, or find how to get the angle sum of the quadrilateral. You see, in triangle ADC, okay, angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 4 equal to 180. You know the angle sum of triangle. Angle sum of triangle is what? 180. That we have already learnt in the previous chapters. And in triangle ABC, you see angle 3, angle 5 and angle 6 is also 180 degree. This is of the same reason angle sum of triangle. Is it clear? So let it be equation number 1 and this equation number 2. And now if you add both equation 1 plus equation 2, what to do? We have to sum the 2 equation. That means left side plus left side, right side plus right side, isn't it? So now the first equation, this implies angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 4. And then left side of second equation, I can have, that is angle 3 plus angle 5 plus angle 6. I am just put the equal sign here, and the right side is 180 plus 180, 180 degree plus 180 degree, clear. And now you see angle 2 and 3, just I am taking this angle 2 and angle 3, that is nothing but angle A. Okay. You see the diagram, angle 4 and angle 5 gives angle C, clear. And now you will get angle 1 is nothing but angle D plus angle 2 and 3, if you add, you get angle A, plus angle 4 and 5, if you add, you get angle C, plus angle 6 is nothing but angle B, clear. That is 360 degree. And you see now you can write in order, alphabetical order, that is angle A plus angle B plus angle C plus angle D is nothing but 360 degree. So, like that we can find the angle sum of a quadrilateral. This is called angle sum property of a quadrilateral. Angle sum of triangle is 180 degree. By using that, we are finding that angle sum of a quadrilateral is 360 degree. So, now coming to theorem 8.1, a diagonal of a parallelogram, divides it into two congruent triangles. Just you take ABCD is a parallelogram and AC is the diagonal. Proof. ABCD is a parallelogram, the short form to write parallelogram. Put parallel symbol and GM, if you write, that is parallelogram. So, ABCD is a parallelogram, diagonal AC divide ABCD into two triangles, and we have to prove that these two triangles are congruent triangles. You see how. So, now in triangle ABC and triangle ADC, you see, to congruent, you know how to say the two triangles are congruent, and enough condition, 3 conditions are needed except AAA, and we can say the two triangles are congruent, and by corresponding parts of congruent triangle, you know everything. So, these concepts and also lines and angles concept always useful to prove the theorems and all, and also the problems in exercise sums. So, you see in these two triangle, since it is a parallelogram, you can say that if these two are the parallel side and this is the transversal, then we can say this angle 1 is equal to angle 2 and this angle 3 is equal to angle 4. Just I am naming like the first triangle, I am giving the number first and then the second triangle. First triangle I have taken as ABC and then ADC. So, you see in these two triangle, angle 1 equal to angle 2 because alternate angles. In reason you have to write. How I am writing alternate angles? Since ABC is a parallelogram, you consider these two are parallel side and this is the transversal. Then we can have these 1 and 2 are alternate angles. In the same way, you take the same if AB and CD parallel, in the same way BC and AD also parallel. So, BC and AD parallel means 1 and 2 equal, and if AB and CD parallel means, and the same AC is transversal, 3 and 4 are alternate angles. 3 and 4 alternate angles. Is it clear? Alternate angles means Z angle. if these two are parallel and this is transversal, then 2, 1 are alternate angles. That is what I have taken here. And if these two sides are parallel and this a transversal AC, then 3 and 4 are alternate angles. So, alternate angles means that angle made by with this side and the transversal, that is angle 4, and angle made with AB and the transversal is angle 3. So, that Z angle like this, then this angle and this angle are the alternate angles. So, like that we can observe there. So, these two are alternate angles equal, and now you can say that AC is common, AC equal to AC is common side, okay, common side. So, now we can say by two angles on one side means it is ASA, okay. This implies triangle ABC congruent to triangle ADC. What rule? Two angles on one side. So, ASA rule, congruence rule, ASA congruence rule, we can say these two triangles are congruent triangles. That is all. So, we can say that diagonal AC divides the parallelogram ABCD into two congruent triangles. That is all the proof. And now, we move to the next. And now, coming to theorem 8.2. Okay. So, you see what is given there in 8.2, they are asking to prove in a parallelogram opposite sides are equal. In a parallelogram opposite sides are equal. So, how to say that? First of all, in theorem 8.1, if you continue that, then we can easily prove this also. You see, by joining the diagonal, we have proved that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle ADC. So, after proving that by CPCT, that means what? Corresponding parts of congruent triangle. So, using that concept, we can easily say from ABC, AB, and from this triangle, that CD, they are equal. And again, from this triangle ABC, BC is one side, and in ADC, AD. So, opposite sides, they are equal. Okay, by CPCT, we can say it. So, we have to continue with 8.1. And this is the part we have to do for prove 8.2. That is all. This alone, by continuing with 8.1, this is enough to prove 8.2. Opposite sides are that's equal. So, that is the 8.2. In a parallelogram, opposites in a parallelogram opposite sides are equal. So, that is we have proved it. Okay. So, now coming to the third one, if each pair of opposite sides of a quadrilateral is equal, then it is a parallelogram. So, that is converse. So, converse means what? In a parallelogram opposites are equal, that is what we have proved it. Okay. Conversely means we have to say in a exchange manner. That means what? If in a parallelogram opposites are equal, in a quadrilateral if opposite sides are equal, then it is a parallelogram. Is it clear? That is called converse. So, we can prove it that also by applying the concept, the congruent property of triangle, and also that angles, lines and angles concept. Okay. So, 8.3 also we can easily say that in a quadrilateral, if each pair of opposite sides is equal, then it is a parallelogram. And then coming to 8.4, in a parallelogram opposite side angles are equal, opposite angles are equal. So, how to say that? We will see that. So, 8.4, in a parallelogram opposite angles are equal. Just you take ABCD is a parallelogram. I mark the angles A, B, C, D as 1, 2, 3, 4 for our easy understanding. Okay. And you have to say angle 1 equal to angle 3, angle 2 equal to angle 4. Okay. Let us see how to say. You know, ABCD is a parallelogram. Therefore, by using the lines and angle concept, since ABCD is a parallelogram, take opposite sides parallel and equal, that you know. Okay. Now, we have to prove the opposite angles are equal. So, in ABCD is a parallelogram means you can apply the lines and angles concept. AB parallel to CD and BC parallel to AD, isn't it? So, these two are parallel. For example, if you take AB parallel to CD, then AD you consider as transversal. Okay. Therefore, angle 1 and 4 are supplementary. That is, if you add, you get supplementary. That means, in short, I explained you co-interior angles are supplementary. Co-interior angles are supplementary. So, when AB parallel to CD and AD is a transversal, then you can have angle 1 plus angle 4 equal to 180 because co-interior angles. Co-interior angles are supplementary. Supplementary means if you add, you should get 180. So, angle 1 and angle 4 180. Similarly, 1 and 2, because these two are parallel, BC parallel to AD. When BC parallel to AD and you take AB as transversal, AB is a transversal. What happens? Angle 1, angle 2 are co-interior angles, and co-interior angles means they are supplementary. So, by using the lines and angle concept, we are writing this. You see, right hand side of these two equations are equal, 180, 180. So, therefore, left hand side automatically comes equal. So, angle 1 plus angle 4 is equal to angle 1 plus angle 2. Same angles on either side cancel. Okay. So, you get angle 4 equal to angle 2. You see, angle 4 and angle 2 are what angles? Opposite angles. So, they are equal. Similarly, we can say angle 1 equal to angle 3. So, that is all. The opposite angles are equal, that we have proved it. So, similarly, the converse in a quadrilateral, that is 8.5 theorem, in a quadrilateral each pair of opposite angles is equal, okay, then that quadrilateral is a parallelogram. So, that is what they are. So, same way we can prove it. Okay. If in a quadrilateral each pair of opposite angles is equal, then it is a parallelogram, that is 8.5 theorem. So, easily we can prove in the same way. So, you take this what I am proving here. Okay. Other things easily you can understand by the same way. And then 8.6, the diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. We will see that. So, all these theorems we can prove by considering the two concepts. One is congruent triangle property, okay, and then lines and angles concept. That is all. Now, 8.6 we will see. So, now coming to theorem 8.6, the diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. So, you consider ABCD a parallelogram and AC and BD are the two diagonals intersect at O. So, you have to show that these two diagonals AC and BD bisect each other. So, bisect means what? Suppose the two diagonals meet at O, then this OA and OC should be equal and OB and OD should be equal. Okay. Then only we can say both diagonals bisect each other, one bisect the other, one diagonal bisect the other. So, like that, in short we can say the two diagonals bisect each other. That means O should be the midpoint of AC as well as BD. So, that we have to show. Okay. So, let us consider the concept the triangle and use the concept again and again. I am telling to prove this, and in this chapter main concepts are congruence property of triangle and also lines and angles concept. Okay. First you take BC and AD parallel. Okay. Since BC parallel to AD, you know why? Because ABCD is a parallelogram. Since BC parallel to AD with transversal, you consider the transversal BD, comma. Now, what we can take angle 1 equal to angle 2, because these two are parallel. Parallel means you can use the symbol like this. Okay. In parallelogram, opposites parallel. So, BD is a transversal, therefore, the angles 1 and 2 are alternate interior angle. Transversal with this AD and the same transversal with this BC, the parallel sides. So, this angle 1, this angle 2 equal, since alternate angles. Alternate angles. And with AC as transversal, for the same parallel sides, you consider AC as the transversal, then we can have angle between the transversal and the side AD is 3 and angle between the transversal and the side BC is 4. They are the alternate angles, they will be equal, that you know already. Okay. It's lines and angles concept. Okay. And now, after finding this, now we are going to prove these two triangles are congruent. You know why? After proving congruent by CPCT, corresponding parts of congruent triangle, we can have the other parts or other corresponding parts as equal. Okay. So, I am taking the two triangle. In triangle AOD and triangle BOC. You see, already have 1 equal to 2, angle 1 equal to angle 2 and angle 3 equal to angle 4. Okay. These two proved above, proved. Okay. The reason proved already here. And one more thing, AD BC, side AD is equal to side BC of BOC triangle. You know the reason? Because they are equal sides since parallelogram. ABCD is a parallelogram, therefore, opposite sides equal. ABCD is a parallelogram. So, in parallelogram opposite sides are equal, that you know. So, parallel and equal. So, we are taking that also. So, two angles on one side. This implies, you see, in this triangle these two angle and this side, and in this triangle these two angle and that side. So, included side. So, we can take angle side angle. Triangle AOD congruent to triangle BOC by what congruence rule? Angle side angle rule. Clear? So, now we have proved that these two triangles are congruent. So, after that by CPCT we can take this implies from this triangle OA is equal to OC and OD equal to from this triangle OD and this triangle OB, both by CPCT. By CPCT we can say like this. So, after telling this, now we have O is the midpoint of AC and also BD. So, O is the midpoint of AC and BD. Hence, AC and BD bisect each other. They are the diagonals. Bisect each other. So, like that we can prove. So, this is the way you have to prove the theorems. Okay. And you know 8.7 is given in the book that if the diagonals of a quadrilateral bisect each other, then it is a parallelogram. So, first of all you take a quadrilateral like this, any four side figure, and if the diagonals of the quadrilateral bisect each other, then that will be the parallelogram. So, converse. Okay. In a parallelogram diagonals bisect each other. If in a quadrilateral diagonals bisect each other, then it is a parallelogram, that is the converse theorem. So, 8.7 is that only. So, easily you can prove that. Also given some hints are given in the book. So, you try to prove it, and then coming to the next theorem we will see. So, now coming to theorem 8.8, a quadrilateral is a parallelogram if a pair of opposite sides is equal and parallel. So, consider ABCD a quadrilateral first, and then we have to show that it is a parallelogram if pair of opposite sides is equal and parallel. So, take a quadrilateral, ABCD be a quadrilateral here. Quadrilateral with AB equal to DC and AB parallel to DC. So, you have to consider, because given in the theorem. So, ABCD is quadrilateral with AB equal to DC and AB parallel to DC, and you have to join AC, which is the diagonal. Now, we have to prove this ABCD quadrilateral is a parallelogram. So, to show a quadrilateral is a parallelogram, so we need to prove the opposite sides are parallel and also equal. So, one pair of opposite sides they given that they are equal and parallel, and another pair also we have to show equal and parallel, then that quadrilateral becomes a parallelogram. So, for that you take this implies, you see AB DC parallel and also equal, it is given, and this is diagonal, means this angle 1, this angle 2, they will be equal. You know that angle 1 equal to angle 2 because alternate angles. This is transversal. AC you consider as transversal, and these two are parallel lines. Therefore, angle with transversal on the line, they are 1 and 2, they are equal alternate angles. So, alternate angles is that angle that you know. The same concept we are using here, 1 equal to 2, and then now you take these two triangles. So, in these two triangles we have to show they are congruent. So, in triangle ABC and triangle CDA. We have angle 1 equal to angle 2 proved. Okay. And then AB, that side AB and DC are equal. AB from triangle ABC and DC from triangle CDA, they are equal, given. Okay. And then AC is the common side, common. So, now two pair of sides and one pair of angle, to SAS congruence rule we can use. Okay. This implies triangle ABC congruent to triangle CDA because of SAS rule. Because of this rule we can say these two triangles are congruent. So, after saying congruent, this implies we can say BC in this triangle ABC and AD of triangle CDA, they will be equal by CPCT. So, BC is equal to DA, BC or AD, like that you can say BC AD, CPCT, corresponding parts of congruent triangle. And now we have proved BC and that AD are equal, but you have to say these two are parallel. How to say? Now, after telling these two triangles are congruent, okay, the corresponding angles are also equal, that is CPCT. So, we let us take this angle and this angle. By this triangle you take is this 3 and this is 4. So, angle 3 of triangle ABC, the first triangle is ABC, next one is CDA. So, angle 3 of this triangle, angle 4 of the next triangle will be equal, that is we are saying by CPCT. Now, after saying this angle 3 and 4 equal, they are alternate angles. When you take this BC and AD, any two lines and transversal AC, 3 and 4 are alternate angles, and now we proved they are equal also. Okay. But angle 3 and 4 are alternate angles with transversal what? The same AC. They are alternate angles and also they equal. They are equal. So, you can say easily that two lines BC AD should be parallel. This implies BC parallel to AD. So, another pair of opposites is also be proved parallel. So, AB CD is a parallelogram. First, they given one pair of opposites parallel, and we have taken AB and DC parallel, and now we proved BC, another pair of opposite BC and AD are parallel. Therefore, ABCD is a parallelogram. Okay. Now, let us move to the exercise 8.1. Exercise 8.1, and we will see the sums also. Few sums we will see now, and the rest of the sums in the next class. So, we are going to use all these concepts there. So, you follow carefully. So, now exercise 8.1, the first sum, it is given the ratio of the angles of a quadrilateral is 3:5:9:13. Find all the angles of the quadrilateral, that is the question. So, the ratio of the angles only given. So, we have to find the measure of each angle. So, how many angles are there in a quadrilateral? 4. So, when ratio is given, so you have to multiply with a common part, that's common ratio, okay, that is, let it x, any variable you can use. So, I am taking x here. Let the 4 angles of the quadrilateral be 3x, 5x, 9x and 13x. X, that is the common part, okay, common ratio multiplied with all the given numbers in the given ratio. Okay. So, after finding x, if you multiply with the given numbers, then you can get the each measure of angle. So, angle sum of quadrilateral that you know is equal to 360 degree. This implies 3x plus 5x plus 9x plus 13x is equal to 360 degree, and you add all this. So, each angle we have assumed with the multiplying x. So, now you add all these, that is angle sum, all the 4 angles when we add you get 360. So, 3x plus 5x 8, 8 plus 9 17 and then plus 13 you get 30. So, 30x, this implies is equal to 360 degree. So, x equal to 360 by 30, you cancel and you get x equal to 12. The common part, the common ratio of all the angles is 12. 3 12s are 36. So, now you just multiply with given ratio, that is you multiply here by 12, 3 into 12, 5 into 12, 9 into 12, 13 into 12 and you will get the measure of each angle. 4 angles, therefore, 4 angles of the quadrilateral are 1 by 1, 3x, that is equal to 3 into 12 is equal to, and then 5x, 5 into 12 equal to, and then 9x, 9 into 12 equal to, and then 13x. So, 13 into 12, just multiply only 3 12 36 degree, and then 5 into 12 60 degree. You have to do it 9 into 12 or not 8, okay, and then 13 into 12 120 and then 36 156. Just you multiply, you will get right. If you add all, definitely you will get what? 360 degree. And now let us move to the next sum. So, now question number 2, it is given that a a parallelogram with equal diagonals, okay, then it is a rectangle. So, the question is, if the diagonals of a parallelogram are equal, then show that it is a rectangle. So, just we take ABCD is a parallelogram, ABCD is a parallelogram and the diagonals are equal. So, we take AC and BD equal, it is given, and we have to prove ABCD is a rectangle. To show a parallelogram as a rectangle, so we need to prove that any one of the angle out of 4 angle, any one angle is 90 degree, then that parallelogram becomes rectangle. Okay. So, you see how to prove this. I am taking ABC and BAD 2 triangles, I am going to say they are congruent. So, after that we can get the required things. You see how. So, in triangle ABC and triangle BAD. Okay, two triangle. So, first of all, ABCD is a parallelogram, that means opposite sides are parallel and equal, that you know. But if the diagonal is equal, we have to show that it is a rectangle. Okay. You see, in these two triangle, I am going to say they are congruent. How? You see that in these two triangle you have to focus only these two triangle in the diagram. You see, BC is equal to AD. You know why? That is the parallelogram. Opposite sides are parallel. So, BC is equal to AD and AB is the common side and diagonals also given equal. So, easily you can say that. So, BC of ABC is equal to AD of BAD, opposite sides. Sides of parallelogram, you know they are equal, and AB equal to AB common side. Okay. And the diagonal AC is equal to BD. So, equal diagonals given. Equal diagonals. So, by triple S congruence rule, so you can easily say they are congruent. Therefore, triangle ABC congruent to triangle BAD by triple S congruence rule. By triple S rule, easily we can say these two triangles are congruent. After saying congruent, you see angle ABC is equal to angle BAD, CPCT. ABC, you know this angle, okay, and BAD this full angle. So, ABC angle from ABC triangle, BAD angle from BAD triangle, they are equal by CPCT we can say. But since it is a parallelogram, what ABCD, and you consider AB as transversal and BC parallel to AD, since BC parallel to AD with transversal AB, okay, BC parallel to AD with transversal AB, then we can say angle ABC plus angle BAD is equal to 180 degree. You know why? These are co-interior angles. Co-interior angles are supplementary, that you know. And above we have proved they are equal. So, we can replace any one by the other. This implies ABC plus, for BAD also you can put ABC is equal to 180. So, this becomes 2 angle ABC is equal to 180, and this implies angle ABC is equal to 90 degree. When you bring 2 to the right side, you get 90 degree, 180 by 2, you get 90 degree. So, now we have proved ABC angle is 90 degree, and if you apply here angle ABC and angle BAD are equal. So, that two angles are also 90. So, you see here, this implies angle ABC, angle BAD are both equal to 90. If any one angle is 90 in a parallelogram, then that becomes a rectangle. But here two angles are 90 degree, then we can say easily ABCD is a what? Rectangle. Hence, is the rectangle. Easily we can say. So, this is the way to prove. So, now coming to question number 3, it is given that show that if the diagonals of a quadrilateral bisect each other at right angles, then it is a rhombus. So, you have to consider ABCD as a quadrilateral whose diagonals are AC and BD, they are bisected 90 degree, you see. Okay, I have taken like that at this point. So, every angle, this AOD 90 degree, this BOC 90 degree, and angle COD 90 degree, angle AOB also 90 degree. So, we can take like that because it is given the diagonals bisected right angle. So, right angle means 90 degree, and we have to say ABCD is a rhombus. Okay. So, first let us take in this diagram these two triangle, we are going to prove congruent. So, in triangle AOD and triangle BOC, we have OA equal to OC. It is given because diagonals are bisect each other at right angle. So, OA is equal to OC. I already have marked there, and from AOD another side is OD, sorry, another segment is OD, and OB is from next triangle. This is also given. Okay, because it is given that the diagonals bisect each other. That means what? These two diagonals bisect each other. So, we can have O as a midpoint of both diagonals. O is a midpoint of both diagonals. So, we can tell that OA equal to OC and OD equal to OB, that all. And now, one more thing. Since they bisect at right angle, that means 90 degree, then these two angles are 90 degree, or in another way vertically opposite angle also you can take. But here it is given that they are perpendicular. So, we can take easily that AOD angle is equal to angle BOC because 90 degree. Okay. Now, they are congruent. Triangle AOD is congruent to triangle BOC. Okay. You know by what property? Congruent property? Two pair of sides and one pair of angle. Okay. Two pair of sides. So, SAS rule. By SAS rule, we can say the two pair of sides and one pair of angle are equal. So, these two triangles are congruent. After saying congruent, so we can easily say this two sides. So, from AOD we can have AD, that is equal to there BC, the two sides are equal because of CPCT, corresponding parts of congruent triangle. And also we can say this angle 1, just I am marking, and angle 2 for your reference, the two angles are equal, you know, because by CPCT we can say this implies angle 1 of triangle AOD is equal to angle 2 of triangle BOC by CPCT. You know why I am taking this using CPCT, why I am taking these two are equal, because we are going to say this quadrilateral, because ABCD is given as a quadrilateral and we have to show that it is a rhombus. So, before that, before saying ABCD is a rhombus, we have to say ABCD is a parallelogram first. Okay. So, you see AD is equal to BC, one pair of opposite sides equal, and its angle you see now 1 and angle 2, they are equal. Okay. And after saying these are equal, you consider this is any two line and this is a transversal. Therefore, angle 1 and 2 are alternate angles, but these are alternate angles with transversal which is the transversal BD. If you consider BD as transversal of these two lines, then angle 1 and 2 are alternate interior angles, that is Z angle. So, alternate angles are equal, we have proved by CPCT. So, definitely AD parallel to BC. This implies AD parallel to BC. Okay. You see, already we have proved AD is equal to BC, and now we proved AD parallel to BC. Therefore, one pair of opposite sides are parallel and also equal. Since a pair of opposite sides of quadrilateral ABCD are equal and parallel, ABCD is a parallelogram. We come to the conclusion that ABCD is a parallelogram. You know, this is the previous theorem 8.8 I have taught you. So, ABCD is a parallelogram now. So, after saying ABCD is a parallelogram, easily we can say ABCD is a rhombus, because if in a parallelogram the diagonals bisect each other at right angle, then definitely it becomes a rhombus. So, we know that a parallelogram is a rhombus when its diagonals bisect at right angle. That you know, this implies ABCD is a rhombus. Now, we can come to the conclusion that ABCD is a rhombus. So, this is the proof, and the other problems we will see in the next class. We have proved some theorems also, and the rest of the theorems you can prove by yourself easily by using the two concepts. One is congruent property of triangle, another one is lines and angles concept. And then we have seen 3 sums in this exercise, and 9 more sums are there, I think. So, out of that 9 sums, few sums we will see in the next class. Thank you.